Steffi and I want to read our next section of Joseph with you. Steffi, can you say Joseph? Oh, we'll work on that. We left Joseph in the pit, sold to Egypt. And we'll continue in Genesis 39 and see where God took Joseph. That door will shut when Daddy Brett's done in the yard. You hear him mowing the yard?
Yes.
Yep. He is managing this castle. He's managing this little piece of Egypt. Okay? Now Joseph had been taken to Egypt. An Egyptian named Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and the captain of the guard, bought him from the Ishmaelites who brought him there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he became a successful man, serving in the household of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made everything he did successful. Can you show me muscles?
Yes.
Successful. Victory. Joseph found favor then in his master's sight and became his master's personal attendant. Do you know how I help take care of you, Steffi?
Yeah.
And I'm like your caregiver. Well, I personally attend to you, and that's what Joseph became to Potiphar. Potiphar put him in charge of his household and placed all that he owned under Joseph's authority. From the time that he put him in charge of his household and all that he owned. Yes, we will turn that off. I don't have the remote right handy. From the time he put him in charge of his household and all that he owned, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house because of Joseph. You say Joseph?
Yes.
Victory! Joseph was victorious in all that he did. The Lord's blessings was on all that Potiphar owned, in his house and in his fields. He left all that he owned under Joseph's authority, and he didn't concern himself with anything except for the food that he ate. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
You kind of have that. Stephanie, what do you want to do today? Right? Everything else is taken care of for you. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after some time his master's wife looked longingly at Joseph. Wow, this is the conflict right here. But guess what? Joseph refused her. Look, he said, with me here my master does not concern himself with anything in his house. He's put all that he owns under my authority. No one in this house is greater than I am. He's withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. So how could I do such a great evil and sin against God? Good boy, Joseph, right? Good boy. Although she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go with her. Now one day he went into the house to do his work, and none of the household servants were there. She grabbed him by his garment. Oh no, remember we talked about his fancy coat?
Yeah.
Well, now he has a fancy coat of Potiphar, and Potiphar's wife is trying to take his coat. Joseph! But he left his garment in her hand and escaped and ran outside. When she saw that he had left his garment with her and ran outside, she called the household and said, "Look, my husband brought me a Hebrew man to make a fool of us. He came so that he could be with me, and I screamed as loud as I could. When he heard me screaming for help, he left his garment with me and ran outside." Now, was she telling the truth? No. Potiphar's wife, she's trouble. She put Joseph's garment beside her until his master came home, and then she told him the same story. "The Hebrew slave you brought to us came to make a fool of me, but when I screamed for help, he left his garment with me and ran outside." When his master heard the story his wife told him, he was furious, rightly so. And Joseph knew he would be. He had Joseph thrown into prison. Another pit. Coat taken, thrown in a pit.
God.
Where the king's prisoners were confined, so Joseph was there in prison. Poor Joseph. But the Lord was with Joseph and extended kindness to him. He granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. The warden put all of the prisoners who were in the prison under Joseph's authority. Victory! Even in prison, he had authority. He was responsible for everything that was done there. The warden didn't bother with anything under Joseph's authority because the Lord was with him. and the Lord made everything that he did successful. Victory!
God.
So Joseph had victory because God was with him. Give me 5, Steffi. We'll continue more of our story of Joseph later, okay?
Okay.
Say bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Wave at the camera. Bye, friends.